All right. That is called I did not expect to have to put up a starting soon placard. And so I thought I'll just share my photos and then you get to see that lovely banner across the top. But we're here, we're live. I say we, right now it's just me. Um, but my colleagues will be joining me here shortly. So in the meantime, I'm just going to talk about some things that are going on with the homebrew scene and specifically things that I'm working on until some people arrive. So, we've talked extensively on this live stream, as well as on our podcast about Beersmith, and it is something I understand for your entry into brewing. It's maybe a little intense for some people, and so I wanted to kind of give a little bit of time and since I have it here and in this visual medium, I thought it'd be nice to maybe walk people through a little bit of kind of how it works. So um, I want this to kind of stand as a record. If you guys stumble upon this later, I'm going to put in the description a little bit about what I talked about at the beginning here. And, it might help you out a little bit. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you. If I can find the Beersmith thing. There it is. So, Beersmith. That's a little small. Let's do this. There you go. All right. So you can see Beersmith allows you to keep local recipes as well as cloud recipes. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into one of them that I built for a recipe coming up, which is a porter that I'm making. It's an English porter style. And there you go. All right. So Beersmith works like any other. You build a recipe and you can add different things in. You can see how they will affect it. A couple things you have to know first. You can do extract, partial mash, all grain, and then it has cider, mead, and wine options too. These are new for Beersmith 3. Um, you can enter in your brewhouse efficiency if you know that. Most brew houses will do 70, somewhere between 65 and 75. So it's something that you can. Hey, Jason.
What's going on? Nope.
What's going on? I was just going over some Beersmith stuff here and talking about the recipe that I'm going to be doing here shortly.
What's go- what what's going on, man?
Hey,
Can you
yeah,
hear
like
me
I said, I
now?
was just I can. Yeah, you
You,
can hear me, right?
yes. You got 3 minutes in
All
and you're
right.
already teaching. You are so
I'm already
impressive.
teaching. I
Yes.
hit the ground running. I didn't have
Yes.
anybody to shoot the shit with, so
You put when you're in that situation, you put the teacher hat on. I respect that so
right.
much.
What can I do?
Yes.
But yeah. So I was just going over some of it, just kind of the basics of Beersmith, because it is a little bit complicated sometimes.
True.
The So when setting it up, like I said, you can set what kind of a recipe you're building, and then two things that I wanted to touch on, and then we can go ahead and get started on some other things here. Is number one,
Sure.
your equipment profile. You have a few standard equipment profiles, like a standard 5 gallon batch that'll work for a lot of things, and a 5 gallon batch, either igloo cooler or stainless steel. That this is what your mash tun is made of. Mine's made of an igloo cooler. And so if you enter these in, these will be mostly accurate if you can use the standard one. But once you get going with it and you start working on it, you probably want to build uh, a profile of your own equipment. And it takes a few tests and figuring out like what your boil off rate is, what your mash tun volume is, and things like that to be able to enter it in here. But if you can do that, you'll get it a lot more accurate. And the other thing that you need to do is make sure you have your style guideline chosen. So, like I said, for this one, it's an English porter. So I went ahead and threw that in, but you can see they have all of the 2015 BJCP. They have wine guidelines. There's some cider guidelines in there too, beyond the BJCP, and you have different add-on options for different style guidelines if you don't like using the BJCP as well. So from a basic setup, that is pretty much what you want to set. You want to set your profile, your type, your equipment profile, and your style profile, and then you just go about adding your ingredients, your malts, your hops, your yeast, and you can get started and play around with Beersmith a little bit. So there you go. So Jason has arrived, so I'll stop ignoring him and
Yeah.
see what's going on there.
I still got links to send out, so
Okay.
no worries. You can talk away. But yeah, let's give a little proper intro here. Hello, this
Yeah,
is a
sure.
nice place to brew. I'm Jason,
And I'm George.
and this is our April 20th, or we'll call it for the rest of the show our 420 webcast.
I think you have
And
to, right?
yes, we
Yeah.
do our webcast every Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern time. As George opens a can, so we can cut right to that. George? What are you drinking, sir?
I
I
have
wasted no
the
time
from
getting
Common.
there.
No, good segue. I have from Commonwealth Brewing the Magic Scone, uh, blackberry lemon sour India Pale Ale with lactose. So yeah, I've had this
In
before. It's pretty
India
good.
Pale with Lactose. Yeah, I do remember that. Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah, and this is the one I spilled all over my computer before, so I'm going to endeavor not to do that again. What about you, sir?
I think well, this is proving to be a repeat one here on the webcast. This is the Bam Bam Loves Pebbles from our friends at Will County.
At Will County. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, full.
you seem to be in a Will County and what's the other one? What's the one you had last time?
Hot Butcher.
Magic Eight Ball people. Hop Butcher,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Seem to be in a Will County Hop Butcher loop.
yep, that I am. Well, a couple things to that. They're both local breweries, and I'm all for supporting local breweries during this time. I'm wearing down my Metal Monkey supply, which just means I'm going to have to go
Okay.
back and restock. And
Yeah.
I am working hours of 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day this week. Actually, not even through this week, through Saturday. So I had no time. I literally finished up a call at 5:57. I ran upstairs and grabbed the first can that I could find out of the fridge, grabbed a glass, ran downstairs, and set up the webcam. So
Okay. All
yeah,
right.
that's how my week is going. That's how the week is going to be. So,
All right.
but you got to do
Yeah.
what you got to do.
Yeah. At least you're
So,
keeping busy.
oh,
Through all
absolutely.
this. So
Yeah,
yeah.
honestly, like we've obviously talked about the quarantine at nauseum here, but one thing I'm very, very grateful for is I have been able to stay as occupied as I have.
Yeah.
Certainly, like if your day to day activities have been stopped completely and you don't have something to dive right into, that's when things go some really bad places. And I feel very, very fortunate that I've still been able to do most of the things that I do on a regular basis. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's the old idle hands, right?
you know what, I was really tempted to say that
Yeah.
idle hands line, and I thought it'd be too cliche too, but it absolutely rings true.
Yeah.
That's when things get bad. So,
It's
and
a
honestly,
spectacularly
go ahead.
go ahead. No, I was gonna
Okay.
say it's a spectacularly bad movie in the '90s, but you know,
Oh, I did not see that, but it sounds awful.
You never saw Idle Hands? Oh, it's
No.
terrible, but it's so much fun.
um, I feel that the topic of home brewing is a plays a part in that conversation, not only because it's a big part of what you and I do outside of our regular jobs, but home brewing and beverage making is something that you can do during idle time. And
Yeah.
George and I have not slowed down our activities at all. We've picked up on the webcast. We're doing this every Monday and Thursday. And the home brewing stuff is compounding also. And I've got a lot to talk about my adventures from this past weekend, which George played a heavy part in. More to come later on today.
Happy to do so. Yeah, no,
Yes, yes.
I was busy myself, and yeah, so and I've got some pictures loaded up on my computer here to share about that, and yeah, we'll definitely talk about that.
Excellent, excellent. Should we dive right into that, or don't want to cover
Sure.
something else first?
No, let's dive right in.
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay. So I've been threatening to get a Herms coil, install it in a pot, and for my big brew day, have it be the first brew day that I actually do a Herms setup and do that for my brewing. So this weekend I actually let me do that. Sorry. This weekend I actually pulled the trigger on that and installed a coil inside of my uh, secondary pot that I have. So I think mentioned this before, but my plan is to use my sous vide system, which is a 900 or 1,000 watt sous vide system, in order to maintain the temperature of the water outside of the coil and run the beer through and back out. So I punched 2 holes, which you can see here on the side of the kettle using that step down bit we talked about before. Installed the coil and then installed using some barrels, some quick disconnects here so I can use the same quick disconnects I used on my pump in order to be able to get that going. So you can see here on the inside, it's down inside, not exactly touching the bottom, but down inside the kettle and has enough room for my sous vide to sit on top and help control the water. So I'm gonna, what you can barely see, if I find a way to zoom in here. Oh, I use control zoom. All right, you can see, if you can see right down here. Can you see my cursor,
Yep.
Jason? Okay, you
Okay,
can see right
that's one
down
of
here.
one of
There's
the holes
another.
you drilled.
No, that's another inlet. At the very bottom, that I'm going to pump the water in once I get it up to temperature in my regular kettle. I'm going to pump the water into this pot through there. And these two over here are the ones that I drilled today. So this pot now has 3 holes in it, and so this will get filled up. So I don't have to carry it or move it around and carry it around. It'll get filled up using that port, and then the sous vide system here will regulate the temperature. Fingers crossed. And I thought about it, and I put a barrel down here, but I put a ball valve up on top because I want to be able to just keep my pump fully open so I don't have to worry about that. And then control how much gets drawn out and how much gets thrown back into my kettle with this ball valve here. So this ball valve will allow me to control the flow out of and into my mash tun.
So let me just ask a really basic question. I see that there's a coil that's jetting out right in the direction of where that valve is. Is that connected
This
directly to the valve? No, down, down, down. That area, yeah, where the coil curves around.
Yes,
Yeah, that
the
it
coil
is.
punches through.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. All right. Wow.
yeah. At
Wow.
the top and
That's
bottom, the
impressive.
coil punches through.
Okay.
And
All
so
right.
this is what I bought. This is a Blickman Herms coil, and it was like I think $110. But it comes
Okay.
specifically so you drill a what is it, a 3/4 inch hole, I think, and then you can put this through, and then you tighten down these bolts on the outside, and there's grommets on the inside, and so it makes it watertight for the inside of the kettle,
So that
and
one's your third
then
hole in that kettle, the top one.
yeah, so I've one, two, and then at the very top,
The bottom.
at the
Yeah.
very bottom,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
is the other one there.
Yeah.
So these ones are my beer connectors, where the beer will go in on the bottom through the coil and then out the top and then back into the mash tun. So yeah,
That's really good. I mean, really, that is. Oh man.
yeah. So that's the plan right there.
And this will, yeah, we're coming up on Big Brew Day. That'll be your first exercise in this.
Yeah. So before Big Brew Day, I do want to run a quick test run
I was gonna say
and
you
one
could
make
use just regular water and and do a test to make sure all the functions are there.
right. Yeah. And so that's kind of my plan is like what temperature do I need to keep the water at in the external water at in order that the 150 degree 150 degree water in the mash tun goes out through the coil, and when it's coming back in it's at 150 degrees.
Right.
So yeah, and I've got an inline thermometer that I'm going to attach here, and it's also got quick disconnects on it. And so I'm going to attach it here, so I'll be able to tell as it's going out and back into the mash tun at what temperature is it. So is it at 150, or did it drop, or did it go up, or whatever, and I'll be able to tell that.
I feel like this has the making of a great tutorial video. Just that test right there.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, I might have to
Think about it.
take some video and see if I
You
can put
probably need
that together.
an extra set of hands or something to put that together. But
I
I
might.
think that
And
would come together very nicely.
well, and if I'm not doing any actual brewing, I might have
Right.
that extra set of hands with the wife, because she won't have to smell the horrible brew smell. But yeah, I don't quite understand it myself. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I've heard similar reactions though, so it's all good.
So yeah, so that's that. Um, and so I mean, this technically can be a lauter ton, but I actually have another lauter ton, that picnic cooler that I have been using. So I'm probably not going to use that for this. I'm just going to use the my regular system, and I'll just have this just be for Herms. Is kind of my plan. What I might need at some point is another sous vide, though, just to have this dedicated to this, and
Hmm.
then I can use the other one for other functions. So
The sous
I'm
vide
not
has its
entirely sure.
limits, mostly because we're working with large quantities of liquid at that point, which is beyond like the normal
Yeah.
function of a sous vide.
Right, yeah. And asking it to do 7 gallons of water from tap to 150 some degrees is
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
ideal for a sous vide system. So,
True. True.
but yeah,
Moving up though.
so that's that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well done.
So what about you, sir? You were busy as well.
Sure was. So give me a second. I'll do a screen share too. I do have a picture, and I'll walk through this weekend's project. Let me set this up though, and this has been kind of playing around in my head since I completed this on Sunday. I'm always surprised at the directions that home brewing has taken me in areas that I never ever thought I would do. And yesterday was one of those. Like the idea that I would be
Okay.
spending a Sunday evening drilling through a stainless steel pot is it's just, I mean, it seems unfathomable. And honestly, things that in my previous lives before home brewing, I never ever would have gone anywhere near. Well, here I am yesterday at in the late afternoon on my back porch with a step bit on a cordless drill, and I'm making two holes in my brew kettle in preparation for the pump system that we've talked about on previous shows. So,
Speaking of which, I don't think you sent me that link. We can take a look at it here if you want to.
sure, yeah, we can. Well, first things
Okay.
first. Let me at least
First
get
things
this
first.
image.
Yeah,
Yeah.
do that.
All right. So, okay, I have this through.
I feel like I should
Okay, and
be
did
playing
well.
Jeopardy music or something.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? It's not. It didn't give
Jason's
me.
screen.
It
Here
didn't
we
give me
go.
the option to share Chrome. So
Oh,
yeah. There's option
I'm
B. Can you see it?
not sure. I'm seeing something. I'm not sure what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Are you seeing this on the screen?
Oh, hold on.
Okay. So it will give you the option to share Chrome at the top, at the very top. If you click over, there's an application share. You hit share screen, and at the top it says your entire screen, application window, Chrome tab.
So
It
all
gives
it
you
gives
some
me is
options
share
there.
screen. That's it. Screen sharing is easiest with two
Oh,
monitors. I don't have a second monitor, so I'm limited in that regard. Sharing indicator, entire screen. Okay,
okay,
I'm gonna try entire screen and see where it goes.
okay.
Can you see me?
Not yet. No. Oh, let me add you. All right. There you go. I'm seeing it.
There you go. So there is my 10-gallon brew pot with two valves installed after I drilled two holes using a step bit out on the back porch.
Nice.
Yes. So the purchase that I made yesterday was twofold. Number one, I bought some, but not all of the ingredients that I'll need to make my big brew day batch. And then I bought two valves, which installed onto this. So when I got those back, I had to go out and make another special purchase at a hardware store for a step bit, and had to go through that layer of stainless steel using that step bit. Number one, step bits are expensive. I won't even say how much
Yes,
I
they
paid
are.
for that, but it was embarrassing, considering I have no idea when I'm going to use it again. But it's either the price of a step bit or $150 for a new brew pot. Do the math.
Right. Well,
So
but I will tell you this: it's so much because the other option you have is a hole saw, and going through that and a step bit. I don't know what your experience was like when you went through your pot, but in my experience, a step bit chews through that metal like nothing, and you get through, and it just I had my two holes drilled in probably less than 5 minutes.
Oh no, it definitely took me less than 5 minutes. I definitely share that. The most difficult
Yeah.
part was getting that first puncture hole.
Yeah, yeah, and making sure it's in the right place and everything. Yeah, I
Yeah,
get that.
yeah. But it got through. Yeah, once that first small hole went, the rest of it was nothing. Was nothing. And
Yeah,
yeah, it was fortunately I got the right size. The O rings all set up properly. We checked for leaks. There was none. And I looked at it and I'm like I was saying before, things I never thought I would be doing. Wow, look at this.
yeah.
And second of all, I'm one giant step closer to the pump system that we've talked about at length here on the webcast. So
A-
I
And
called
so,
George
correct me if
never
I'm
no less than 3 or 4 times this weekend to walk me through various questions. And George was great, was so
You're
gracious.
good.
He answered every single one.
So, correct me if I'm wrong here, but are those quick disconnects on the ends of those two valves?
No, no, those
No.
are
Okay.
standard. Yeah, the quick
Oh, those are
disconnects will
standard.
be.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the quick
Okay.
disconnects. I'm still getting to that point. It absolutely will be part of the package.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All right. So how do I end the stop sharing? Okay, we're back.
All right. Great.
We got it. No guest tonight,
Yeah.
huh?
Not so far.
Yeah, we got our invites. What's going on?
It's. I don't know if you saw my message back to you, but
I
it
did.
is
No, yes,
420.
I did.
It is
It was
420.
very
So,
appropriate.
yeah, Polly,
Listen,
if
what?
you're out there.
Yeah, what better time to be joining the webcast than on 420? Come on, Polly.
Maybe he's busy. Yeah.
I mean, listen, he's under quarantine like the rest of the country. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, what? Yeah, anytime, Polly.
So I know my brother-in-law and a few other people that I know are in the industry, in the marijuana industry in Colorado and other
Oh, that's
places,
right. Yeah.
and so I see today going one of two ways for them. Either it's like a bank holiday for their industry because they all go home and celebrate in their own way,
Hmm.
or it's like Black Friday. I see it kind of going one of two ways.
I imagine it depends on which area of the industry you're in. If you're in the farming, it's
Right,
going to be another day, guaranteed. You probably have a spike in
right,
the month leading up to that, but all your product has to be grown and put out into the marketplace in preparation for it.
true. Which is
So,
what my brother-in-law's in. He's in the horticulture side, basically.
so he's
So
probably at
yeah,
home enjoying some product.
I would imagine.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
As he's not pulling overtime hours. I wouldn't think.
It might not be. Yeah,
Yeah,
not today.
yeah.
So
All
yeah.
good. But yeah, for the retail, you know what? That's an interesting question though for the retailers. I mean, this is the first year of marijuana being legal recreation wise here in Illinois. You would think if there was a
Right.
day that there would be a run for marijuana sales, today would be the day.
Be today. Yeah, exactly. Now maybe people thought ahead enough to get it before today,
Mm-hmm. Is
but
marijuana an
people don't
essential
think
business?
ahead.
Let's think about that. Are they an essential
I
business?
I I think most of them are because of the medical marijuana side of
Yeah,
things.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I thought for 2 seconds you were going to say the tax revenue.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Are you can you qualify as an essential business based on your tax contributions? That's an interesting
I
question.
don't know.
Yeah. This is not a political webcast. I'll stop.
It is not. Remember, politics, finance, legal, bunch of other ones. Go get your advice somewhere else.
Yes. Yeah. what else?
Oh
What
man,
else did I look closely at this weekend?
I was looking for because, like I said before, I got my quick disconnect kit off of More Beer,
Right.
so I was just thinking if I could find it real quick. Uh, could share with you it like uh, so but yeah, I'm glad you're getting into this. Like I said, I think there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but I think you're going to really like uh,
Yeah.
how it you know how it helps you move the liquid around and stuff.
There's definitely going to be a
So
learning curve. I will definitely have some moments of frustration with it. I know that already. But this is a huge upgrade to any homebrew setup
Yeah.
to operate that way. So, and honestly, like I thank you for giving me the pressure that you have to go in and just, hey, take a leap here and just do it.
Yeah. Well, we all need that kick in the teeth sometimes.
Exactly. I'm not shying away from it.
Okay. Here is one that's kind of like what I got. So I'll close that. So this, and then I'll give this a second to show up. But yeah, uh, I definitely recommend getting a kit. It just makes things easier. Um, and here,
Are you looking
share
for the
screen.
the package?
Yeah, and I found it. I didn't actually get mine off of More Beer. That's right. I got it off of Northern Brewer. But what they send you is a mess of line.
Oh, wait.
Uh,
I think this is the same package that I was just looking at.
okay,
Can you blow
so it's
that up?
enough.
Oh, wait, maybe I can. How do I do that?
Nope, that's the other way.
No.
Nope, apparently not.
No. Okay.
Um,
I'm counting that. Okay, so you had high temperature tubing in it,
you have high temperature tubing.
and
You
it's
have
like
one ball valve.
right one ball valve and like four of each.
Right. And then you have four of the I guess female ones, and you
Hmm.
have four of the male ones. Now, the one male one is slightly different, and it is designed to go because you see the threads are on the inside and not on the outside like these guys. These guys are designed to go into the ball valves, like
Hmm.
on kettles or on this. This is designed to go on your pump. So this goes directly on your pump. So one side of your pump is that, the other side is the ball valve with a quick disconnect male connected to it.
Yep, this is
And
exactly
and
what I
then
what I looked at. Wow. Okay,
yeah,
I feel way better. We were on the same wavelength here.
yeah, this will get you started for sure. And then this, remember I was talking about the thermometer? This is what I have, the inline thermometer.
Okay.
So it's a four-way stainless steel I don't know what's called that. In junction? Sure, let's go with junction. One end is capped off, and then you have a male on one side and a female on the other, so it just goes through and allows you to do inline. And as the liquid passes through, it measures the temperature and shows you the temperature. So that's how I'm going to tell how well my kettle is maintaining the temperature as it goes through the coil.
So where's that going to be warehoused?
I'm sorry?
Where? Okay, so where's that going to be located in your setup?
In terms of my kettle, here, let me pull up this picture again real quick.
So
All right. So looking at this picture, I'm going to put it right here because this
okay.
is the exit back into my mash
Oh,
tun.
okay.
So, yeah, so I'm going to connect it onto here, and then I'm going to have the line coming off into the mash
Got
tun.
it. Okay, can you go back
And
to the other
then,
picture real
yeah,
quick?
sure. Nope, that one right there.
Is the attachment? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Now I got it. Okay.
Now you got it?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. I
So
do.
that I'm going to set that up, and this is a better picture of the connections, basically.
Yeah. Okay. No,
And
that's way
yeah,
better. Okay. Is that a quick
yeah. So
quick disconnect on that side?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
the female
jeez.
side. You just pull on that, snap it on, and then yeah.
A quick disconnect thermometer. That's awesome.
Uh huh. It's not digital, so it's not like instant
That's
read or
fine.
anything.
That's
But
fine.
yeah, that's my feeling on the matter too. Oh, look who's here! Look who's here! Ready to
Oh
join
God.
in. Hey, Polly.
Hey, what's going on,
What's up,
guys?
man?
Hey.
Happy
How you
420 to
doing?
you.
Happy 420 to you.
We
I
were
had to work late because I had to take an hour lunch around 4 o'clock. So sorry I'm late.
All good. All good. It wouldn't be the same doing a webcast on 420 without you.
And your shirt is appropriately tie dyed
It
too.
absolutely is.
Actually, it's a FOBAB shirt.
Yeah, it is.
It's a
That was
FOBAB volunteer shirt.
from last year, right?
Yep, exactly.
That was one of the colors. Yeah.
Every shift had its own different color.
Right.
I remember
Yeah, they've always done that.
2 years ago. 2 years ago, I hit up Ben and Mel, and I got like 20 shirts. They were all volunteer shirts. Me being a tradesman and don't want to spend money on ruining my clothes, I was wearing volunteer shirts for 2 years. Solid. All the festivals that I volunteer at, you know.
Sure. No, I totally get it. I've got an extensive collection myself.
Oh yeah.
So
speaking of festivals, you think anything's gonna happen this year? No. What do you think?
you know what? It's impossible to tell. Like, I mean, if you asked me a month ago, I would have said there's absolutely no way this is going to stretch all the way into October, November, and have an impact on autumn activities. And now I just don't know. I mean, I'm still holding out hope. Like, I don't like the idea that we wouldn't have football this year, and we wouldn't have, like Halloween activities, and of course FOBAB. The calendar around that goes into that time of the year. I really don't want that to be true.
Yeah.
That could possibly be impacted, but I don't know.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, we never know. But let's get back on to brewing. So I did a little bit of research on the small liquor from last time we talked.
Oh no. Okay.
Basically, you're gonna do like a light German lager or an American lager, and then you're gonna throw a bunch of corn syrup at it, 2 or 3 pounds of corn syrup at it, bring the ABV up. Probably plug it into a calculator, and if you want, have yourself in there 10% malt liquor.
Okay.
I did a little bit
So
of
you do
research the
the-
next morning. Like, I had to remember what we did, you know?
So it's a light German lager just
Yeah,
to kind of get a little bit of the taste profile.
It was funny. What happened to George? Where'd you go, George?
He's still here.
I'm here.
I don't
That's
see
good.
you.
Yeah, you're good.
I don't see you. You see me. I see Jason.
I see you.
And like screen. All right. Well, that's all that matters. I know you're there.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Big Brew Day. I've been talking. A bunch of us JBGers are gonna get it going. We're gonna have some fun with this.
We're all in. We're all George and I
good.
too.
Yeah, we're in.
Sean and I might do that our big and dark that we won with last year. We're gonna put that one in there. We're gonna brew that on Big Brew Day.
You're brewing a
So
stout
10%
on Big Brew Day?
in.
Nice.
Why not?
Nice. I like that.
We're going through stuff we have, so
Yeah, okay. I get it.
I still have this two-hearted clone here sitting here ready to go. I just either gotta use old fiber. Really sit. Have you guys ever harvested yeast from a bottle? That's
No.
kind of like my next big thing that I want to try and do.
I'm intrigued about doing that too, but no, I've never cultivated any yeast.
No,
Now,
I haven't either.
Yeah. Now, George, with the catalyst setup, it's designed specifically to make that easy to cultivate yeast.
It is, and for me, it's not been a thing I've done because I don't make the same style often enough to really make it worth it. But I think in the next coming probably year or two, that's probably going to change a little bit for me.
You could see yourself going back to similar styles repeatedly.
I think I'm going to have a few core styles that I'm going to want around, and then I'll make, a few, like a rotating tap or two of different things. But I think there's a few core ones that I'm kind of settling on that I want around.
I like that. I mean, we'll definitely learn a lot by doing those repeat batches. My example of that is I make a double IPA the same time every summer. And this is going to be the first time that I'm doing it this year where I have full temperature control over the fermentation. And I'm also not going to make the
that'll
same
be
mistake
interesting.
that I made before, which was ending the fermentation too early and realizing a whole bunch of diacetyl as a result. So
Oh,
yeah, yeah. So listen, hey, that's stuff you just learn, and that's what we'll do. What is going on here?
All right.
What's going on, George?
It's just my connection being screwy. Sorry about that.
Your internet connection?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
But at least we get to keep going, I just have to jump back in every now and again.
All right. It's all
that's
good.
Just, yeah. That's just, everybody's doing everything. I heard recently that Amazon is completely out of podcast microphones. And it just tells you that people are
That's
taking to the
interesting.
internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're using it for like Zoom recordings and things like that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
my microphone I use is one I hook it up to my work computer during the day, and I use it all day long just because it's easier than having a headset, or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So first toilet paper, now podcast microphones.
Right. Hopefully, there's very little correlation between the two.
I certainly hope so. That's not a good scene.
Well, speaking of like doomsday stuff, have you guys heard the rumors about the CO2 shortage that might be happening?
I haven't heard anything about a CO2 shortage.
I saw a couple articles today about it, and I've heard about it from a couple other people.
How so?
Huh.
Just through people in the brewing world. I actually haven't had a chance to call Mike because I try not to call him on his days off, just because it's not right, But I read these articles and I heard that we might be getting a CO2 shortage here in the future.
Wow.
So all of us lazy kegging people, we're gonna have to learn to bottle conditioned beer.
Well, we can always still keg, but use corn sugar in the keg and condition inside the keg, and then just use CO2 to push. That way we can extend the life of our CO2.
True.
You couldn't cold crash either.
No.
Because you need all that yeast
Sorry?
to re-ferment.
Yeah, exactly. You need it warm. So just different styles,
Yeah.
The guy saw it in a couple of the homebrew pages today. So it was funny. I'm thinking, oh man, hey, if I gotta do it again, we'll do it again. Let's have some fun. Why not?
Depending on where everybody's at, everyone's got a different source for CO2. George talked last week about his welding shop that he gets his refills from. There's people that go to local fire stations, and then you have your homebrew supply stores.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so much variance around that, would a shortage affect everybody the same way? I don't know.
Yeah. It's an interesting question. What else? I mean,
everyone was worried about soda. I'm like, I don't care about soda. You guys have glass soda because I don't drink pop anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, priorities, people. Beer.
Exactly. Screw all you non-alcoholic drinkers.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Paulie, what do you got going? What is that?
Double Dank Punk from Blue Island.
Yeah? All right.
It was their anniversary. It was supposed to be released on their 5th anniversary last weekend.
Okay.
So they bottled up a few, and I was lucky enough to get a couple bottles of it. And so I figured I'd crack it for tonight while we're sitting around chatting. It is 420. Drink some good beer.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 years for Blue Island, huh? That's awesome. That's awesome. Congrats, Blue Island. Good people, great place, and their beer's really good.
Did they win an award?
Well, have I ever told?
No, it's 5 years.
My secret love for Blue Island.
Your secret what?
Actually, Brian's the one that taught me to brew beer.
Yeah, no, I remember. And he's originally from Flossmoor.
Yeah.
And you guys knew each
Yeah,
other there.
I don't know if George has heard this story. He taught me, Brian, and Sean, all three of us, how to brew beer
Okay.
from his house in Beverly on a little mini homebrew setup when he's brewing at Flossmoor. So it's kind of cool. Now I think back about it. He had a keggle in there. Then he put a false bottom in. We collected all the wort. And then we dumped it all out and cleaned it out real quick. Threw it back in there and boiled and went from that way. And we were only doing like 5
so
gallons.
he's used the same vessel as your mash tun and your kettle.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we
I've seen
had a
setups
few
like
buckets
that.
to collect. Have a few buckets to collect some wort and clean it out. Put it back in, boil it. You're at the beginning of the boil. You don't have to worry about anything, getting infected because they're gonna get boiled out anyway.
Sure.
Yeah. Reminds me of remember the workforce. I think he said we were worried about infection in our mash, and he's like, you could throw a boot in there and it would be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that too. That still resonates with me too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I get paranoid about stuff like that. If I get something potentially like in a mash or pre-boil, I'm like, then I have to remind myself, it's getting boiled. Calm down.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I look back at things like that I used to be a freak about 10 years ago. Then I look at it now like, all right, sweet. I'm glad I'm like, like certain things like you freak out about. And then I was like, oh, it's not going to get boiled. It's getting boiled. It's doing this, it's doing that.
Yeah.
You start figuring it out. You know?
Yeah.
But I still freak out about new methods that I try. And you overthink it the whole time.
Oh yeah, no, that's absolutely true. Well, George,
you must have had fun with your no chill method then.
I did. I'm keeping that in quarantine right now because I drank that for 2 nights in a row and I woke up and I felt like I did 10 shots in the morning. So that's not going to be drank very often because if I keep drinking that right now, it's not going to be good. It is really tasty. It's good. It doesn't taste like a 9.3% beer. You drink 3 of those and like we're sitting here chatting. I go to bed and I wake up and I'm like, what happened last night? Was I at the bar? No, I was sitting in my chair.
What was I going to say?
You saying something about me?
Well, for George and I, mash temperature was the thing that we always ended up going back to because always something wasn't going as planned with it. And that bled over. Like when I built my own setup here in the garage and after George headed off to Virginia, like I was obsessively taking mash temperatures. Like I would take a temperature and then 30 seconds later, I'd be back checking it again. Then 45 seconds later and just so on and so on. And I was spinning myself just to no end. And looking back, I was like, geez, why couldn't I just relax? And honestly, back to the pump system real quick, that recirculation that's going to be part of that is going to create a lot more stability in that. So
that's the goal.
Yeah.
So between that and recirculating
it
constantly
through.
through.
Calling from out west.
It's all good.
Oh, you're all right. You're all right.
I've been trying. Like I've been checking in all my friends abroad to see how things are going for them.
Good.
Yeah.
Are we able to flip Polly along in like right 90 degrees? Polly, you're coming in sideways, and I don't know.
That's because the way his phone's oriented.
Try this.
You might be fixing it right now.
Is that better?
Take your hand off. Yes.
That's better, man.
Yes. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. You're no longer horizontal, Polly.
Gotcha.
So what I was saying was between the temperature. Oh, go ahead, Polly.
Anybody brew anything this weekend? I did a bunch of research on some stuff. So actually, I've decided I'm going to do a split batch again I was talking to Uncle Rick. Once this thing all happens, everybody wants to brew as soon as it's like breaks open. Like Uncle Rick, I love him. He's still figuring it out. I'm building his system for him, so I would like to see him start taking off. It would be fun. Get more people brewing beer during this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go back to Brew and Grow. To be honest with you,
I just picked up some. I just picked up some valves from there yesterday, and also some grains for the Big Brew Day batch. But George and I were talking. We were
gotcha.
we spent this weekend building. So I drilled two holes for valves in my brew kettle. So I'm ready to move on to a pump system, and that was one step I had to make is have valves in the kettle. And George installed a Herms coil in his brew kettle.
Okay.
So
Yeah, in a separate kettle that I
do
have.
you guys
so
have speed controls in your pumps?
I don't have a pump yet.
I
George
don't,
does.
but I my plan is to control it with a ball valve.
Nope, can't hear you.
Can't
He
hear
says
me?
he plans to control it with a ball valve. I can hear you, George.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Control the ball valve, but it is nice when you can actually turn the pump down and just barely have it spinning. That's what because I use a pump system when I brew at Brew and Grow. We have one pump for 3 vessels, so and it's nice when you're like coming from your mash tun into your boil kettle, you can just barely have it trickling in there. And you can get the proper extraction out of there.
Yeah,
I don't have to worry about the valve because then you're straining the valve. The valve's like trying to push all this water. It's only pushing a little bit out that could wear your pump out.
Yeah, it can. I know, and at some point in the future, I'm probably going to have to upgrade to a speed control pump. But for now, I'm gonna use the ball valve and see how that works.
Speed control pump.
Yeah, there's pumps where you
Okay.
can actually
You got a
control.
speed control pump?
No, I
No,
don't.
I'm just piecing that together in my brain. This is the first time I've heard people talk about that.
Yeah, there's pumps for that have not dials on them that you can turn up and down the speed of it, and it will like the Blickman Riptide pump. That's one that has a speed control on it, and you can control the flow rate right on the pump rather than screwing around with ball valves, right, Paulie? Still can't hear me, can you, buddy?
I can hear you just fine.
Yeah,
I
no,
can't
that's
hear
all right. Don't worry about
nothing. I see him talking. I tried to read his lips.
Yeah.
it. Do you know sign language?
Yeah.
Impressive.
What you said.
Oh yeah, I was looking for a a speed control. But yeah. So anyway, there's ones you can get and that have variable transfer speeds on them.
Cool. I like that
Yeah.
idea. I may just dive right to one of those.
They're a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, I
but
get that.
In the long run, it might be worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have any? Do we
he's
have any
right.
comments in the chat?
Not as yet.
I'll
no.
look at it.
Yeah. Now, he's absolutely right. I may stress the pump over time, but I think in the short term, we're going to be fine, and eventually in the future, I'll have to upgrade.
All good.
So.
Oh, what else? What else?
It's a good question. What else?
Yeah.
Indeed.
At 420, we got Big Brew Day. Oh, I want to talk about this. So the Big Brew Day recipe calls for cavaic yeast, which is most efficient at temperatures of almost 100 degrees.
With the one that they chose, yes.
Yes. Of which I think there's one other yeast manufacturer that has an equivalent yeast. And of course, like the entire homebrewing community flocked to all these ingredients that are in this recipe. And, I'm still looking for a source to get this stuff. Brew and Grow, of course, was sold out of it. So I'm very interested. First of all, you both have had a chance to review this recipe, have you not?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What an interesting recipe.
It is.
Like,
A lot of
I
stuff
mean,
I've never,
no,
I've not
exactly.
encountered much before.
That's where
Yeah.
I'm at too. I'm so intrigued by it because like the hop profile was insane. Like, I mean, I didn't know about any of these. And then the Kveik style yeast, lending to the polar IPA style that it is, fermenting at almost 100 degrees. It's like, wow, does this recipe have a lot going on?
Right. Yeah, I don't know if Polly can hear me, but he
Yeah,
might
this whole-
have
this
more
whole-
of
these
a.
Nordic yeast have been intriguing me because you ferment them so high and they go so quickly. They ferment in like 4 days. You can be done in 4 days, ready to go if you don't want to dry hop.
Right? Actually, I'm glad you just mentioned that because there are dry hop additions in that recipe.
There are, yeah.
Yeah. I think the gravities were. I think you ferment down from like 1060 to 1009. I think was the schedule, something like that.
Okay.
I don't think I mean, it's very close to that. If I'm off, it's not by much.
Yeah, it's not a very
Okay.
aggressively alcoholic
That's
beer.
good.
Right.
All right, yeah,
Yeah.
I looked at that recipe again. I might brew it. I just gotta make sure I can get it this stuff. If I can't convey it,
Yeah.
I'll brew something that I have sitting around here, extra ready to go.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, sorry.
So, like I said, I still got the super club.
Oh, that's the speed controlled
Yeah.
pump.
Yeah, so the dial here
So that dial, yeah.
lets you
Okay.
control the flow.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So that dial
Yeah.
controls the pump.
It controls the flow.
That dial
Yeah.
right there in the middle actually controls the speed of the pump. Oh hell yeah! I've never seen something like that.
Riptide.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like I said, Jason,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
a little
That's
bit
a
more
badass
expensive.
Yeah,
I
it sure
agree with you
is.
on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But look at this. High performance curved bladed impeller
Oh wow!
with strong rare earth magnets up to
Who makes it? You know what? Email me that picture or that link. Oh, it's a Blickman thing. All right.
Mhm.
I'm
It
like
says-
We all know where to find
miming
it.
I'm miming over
Yeah.
to
Yeah, exactly. I'll look up Blickman. I'll find that. That's a cool pump. Yeah.
What the part that I like too about this, and I know he can't hear me,
It's
but
just funny because
it
like, Blickman's always been like
assembles.
the Cadillac of brewing stuff. And when you see that name, it's like, oh, it's a Blickman.
It assembles via a tri-clamp, so you could take it apart for cleaning in like seconds.
No, I can't hear nobody.
Not me either, Polly?
Oh yeah, I'm not hearing.
Yeah,
I
okay.
heard you talk.
Okay.
George is trying
Yeah.
to talk, and I just can't hear him. I feel terrible. That's
That's
cool.
it.
But Jason, you see that clamp there?
Yeah.
So that you take that tri-clamp off, and you could take the whole head unit off and clean it.
And all the parts come off with that.
Yeah, and all the parts come out, and it disassembles, and you can clean it out.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
Take
Yeah,
it apart and clean it and all that stuff. That's nice. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
Really, that's badass.
yeah, I might have to get me one of them. Let's see.
Is
Yeah.
I mean,
Internal
me,
linear.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
sorry, go ahead.
I'm sure I'm oversimplifying this, but would it be simpler just to pump cleaning and sanitizing chemicals through it?
So that's what I do. Is
Yes and no. You still got to take it apart every now and then because,
Okay.
like we use a tugger pump. You still got to take. It's easy enough if it's 8 screws to take it apart and make sure for peace of mind that you know it's clean in there.
All right.
You never know. You can
Okay.
get a piece of trube or protein or something stuck in there that never got pumped out. You know what I'm saying?
True. Okay.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure that right there controls the flow. Yeah,
Okay.
integral
Kind of-
linear flow valve allows for optimal flow control and saves the cost of extra fittings for a separate valve. And the other
200
nice
bucks.
part too is it's self-priming, which is nice. You see this up here? That's just like on our kegs. You
Yeah.
can pull that pin up and it'll purge the air out, so
Oh,
the you can prime it a lot faster.
nice.
As you put water, as you put the water or wort or whatever, you pull that up and it purges the air out. So it can prime it a lot faster.
Wow.
Yeah, I definitely see one of them in my future.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, this is right up your alley, George.
Yeah.
I can finally hear you, George. How are you doing?
Good.
Hey, there you are. All right. I was saying
I
that
can finally
this.
hear him, so I can finally hear the other half of the conversation. Where he's trying to follow on the pictures, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a badass pump. Yeah, I like that pump.
You held up well,
What's up?
Polly.
Yeah.
You did. I give you credit for that.
Go
What?
ahead and put this.
You held up
in.
well.
Yeah, I'm trying to
You
like
did.
I'm trying to follow as what we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
So pretty much that pump is the same thing I would sell you from Brew and Grow, minus it would just be one extra component because the
Okay.
whole speed control is something that it comes from the garden side, but we would put that works on our pumps all the time. I told everybody about it. Nobody will believe me till they saw me brew with it. And yeah, where's that thing? And they went and grabbed right off the shelf a couple of days
Mm-hmm.
ago. So, but
Yeah.
that pump, no, I'm gonna tell.
But if I'm spending $200
See
on
if
a
we can
pump, I
store
want the
that
flow
thing.
control.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, it'd be nice. It's all together. You can take it apart, and, clean it all. Because I'm a big fan of taking my pump apart every time now. Sometimes I leave it apart till I need it again. Rinse it out, and you're good. So how's the weather down there, George? We've been getting teased with good weather up here the past couple of days.
oh, he's not around to answer.
Oh, so
I think
how have
that-
you been enjoying the weather, Jason?
Oh, doing my thing.
Mhm.
Yesterday was very nice. Very, very nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've not been outside yet today. I'm not going to
Oh,
see.
gotcha.
I'm not going to see much of the world outside of my day job for this week. Just this week.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I actually worked this week, so I got to go outside my house, and it was kind of nice.
Where did you go?
Working on that. What I went to work on a house that I've been working at this old mansion in Joliet
Oh yeah.
that I'm remodeling.
Nice. Okay. All right.
It's right across. It's right across the street from the Slammer Stadium.
Oh, right near downtown.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So
Cool.
remember when we used to go to Hofstra? You go in that back gate that slid open.
Yeah.
That's directly across the street from my house. On the
Oh,
back.
that's right. There isn't. Yes, there is a neighborhood right behind there. Oh gosh, I didn't think of that. Okay.
Huh? So, we were all joking, like, let's do a Hofstra fest. I'm like, I know it wouldn't happen there ever again, but it would be still fun. We had the home base across the street at my pad.
Yeah, I feel bad. I never made it to the famous hop string. The first year that we were a part of that. The first year we were a part of that, that was on the same day as Midwest Brewers Fest.
Oh yeah,
And George and I volunteered to pour at that, and then there was I think the following year was the last year for hop string, if I remember correctly.
Okay. Yeah, we always had to split our forces that weekend.
Right.
But,
Right.
I'm loyal to Chicago Street, so I'm gonna be a hop string. I know
Sure.
90%
Sure.
of the band's playing anyway, so
Yeah. Was
if
there?
I wasn't there, huh?
Is Midwest Brewers Fest still going on?
No.
I didn't think so.
2 years.
That's what I
That's
thought.
been
Okay.
gone. I think that's been gone longer than the hop string, to be honest with you.
It might be true. Yeah, I didn't think of that until just now.
Yeah, I think they quit a year before hop string quit, and that hop string's been 5 years.
Is
now.
Lyle still
Or-
doing their thing?
Who? Lyle?
Lyle. The Morton Arboretum does one. That part I do know about, and that's a pretty big one. I don't know if Lyle has one outside of that.
Well, keep our fingers crossed. We might have a really beer festival here in Joliet here at the end of the year.
Yeah, my hopes are high, man. My hopes are high.
That's my last ditch effort in 2020. Any kind of credibility.
Any kind of credibility is drink at the clink.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, over 200 breweries going to be at that place. So that's what we're talking about.
In Joliet prison. That's so crazy.
You've never been inside the yard, have you?
I don't think I have. No.
Like when you look at it from the outside, it looks enormous, but once you get inside and get inside them walls, it's a totally different world in there. I mean, it's huge. You could totally see them having 200 plus breweries with food trucks and everything in there.
Wow.
And possibly a meat tent.
A mead tent?
Uh-huh.
I love that. I love that idea.
Whole tent for mead.
Yeah. October, right? Is that the plan?
Yeah, October 10th.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's a good time of year for mead.
Yeah. I mean, and the people that he'll be getting there, hopefully it'll be well worth it. So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Same here.
But if it doesn't happen, like everything else this year, I've already written everything else off. So.
What else we got, gentlemen?
I don't know, man. We actually covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah. I was ready to talk about the equipment, the Cavaic yeast, the Joliet events. Feels pretty complete.
Yeah. Well, I guess we might be calling it a night then.
Yeah.
Call
Okay.
it a night early. Yeah. I get
Yeah.
that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's
I
do
mean,
that.
If we are out of things to, in no sense, forcing it, right? You know?
Yeah. No, we hit all the big points.
Exactly.
So.
All right. Well, you guys have a
Yeah.
good night. Nice chatting with you guys.
You too,
Happy
Bolly.
420.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, like I said, you'll be on the recurring invite. Yeah, you have an open invitation. Join us every time, anytime.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry
appreciate it.
I
Just
forgot
keep
to put
sending
you on the
invites.
invite.
I got nothing going on. I don't mind. I actually sit here and enjoy talking to you guys. So it's fun.
You as well. Thank you. Well, check us out.
Cheers, guys. Happy 420.
Cheers. Check us out on Facebook.
Anybody got any whiskey? Want to do a shot before we go?
I can get some whiskey. It'll take me a second
Okay.
though.
George?
I'm sorry, you broke up. I couldn't understand.
He's saying whiskey. We send out 420 with a shot of whiskey.
Oh, with a shot of whiskey. Okay. Yeah,
All
I mean,
right.
I still have my beer. So
Oh, okay. All right.
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna run up, hold the fort down. I'm gonna go get some. I'll be right back.
You guys started this the other night with the
Where'd Jason go?
shots of Malort with Scott and his wife. Those were hysterical.
Oh yeah. Did you watch that?
I did.
Oh man.
It made me laugh so much because like these poor people.
Oh,
have no
that's
idea
right.
what
You were
they're
there.
getting into.
Yeah. No. And they were both troopers in doing that. That was amazing.
Did I ever tell you about the Malort bomb that I'm gonna be starting once we're allowed to open back up?
I'm sorry?
So I've already told you about a few of us play this game called the Malort bomb. So say you're at a bar with
Yes, you
your
did.
buddies.
Yes.
Oh, that game's gonna
It's
get
it's
played for a while.
it's like Russian roulette but worse.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
What I miss?
Oh, he's
Malort
talking about
bomb game.
Malort bomb.
Oh
It's like Russian roulette but worse.
god, yeah, it sounds horrible. Yeah. All right. Wait for George to come back. I'll read off our social media links before we send off here. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at either A Nice Place to Brew or Nice Place to Brew. We have a website at www.aniceplacetobrew.com. We have a podcast on all the major platforms at A Nice Place to Brew. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, all the major ones. Look us up. We have 40 plus episodes all available. And we do our webcast here every Monday and Thursday, at least throughout the end of the quarantine. So stay with, so look out for future episodes. Check out our YouTube page too for past episodes. And if you want to see Polly give lessons on rolling joints, you can check out the episode. It's a Thursday show around late March. I don't have the date. You'll have to look at the past episodes and find out which ones that is.
Oh my god.
I mean, what an appropriate time to be talking about Paulie rolling joints and on 420,
Exactly.
right?
It's the ongoing joke right now.
I know it is. I love it. I laugh hysterically every time it comes up.
And the funny thing was, there was like, I should have been rolling cigarettes today. I had one real one. Which one was it? You never know. Like I was joking with people about this today, to be honest with you.
About that recording? Is that what it was?
Did we lose? George is still trying to get in? Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
George, while you're still here, as we raise a glass, cheers.
All right, cheers, guys.
Happy 420. It takes a lot of good beer to make great beer. Cheers.
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 All right.
Recording.